Hello, today is Thursday, November 10th, and this is the Strat Chat podcast. We are gathered here this evening to discuss episode 5 of the Challenge 38, Ride or Dies. All right, everybody. I am John Dunphy. I'm joined, as always, by my ride or dies, Mr. Kyle Petty and Miss Gina Morgino.
Yes, I'm here, I promise.
We are the Strat Chat podcast, your favorite reality TV podcast. If you want to find us on the socials, you can do so at Strat Chat Pod on Twitter and on Instagram, or check out our website, www.stratchatpod.com. Thank you again, Kyle, for working so hard on that lovely website. So, Man, what an episode this was, guys. Episode 5. Fantastic.
This is a lot. There was a lot.
It was a lot. I'll tell you one thing. It was not a good night for my winner picks.
No, it wasn't. But it felt like a good night for mine. You know? At least one of mine. At least one of mine. I kind of split mine. Yeah, because Laurel is really who I want as like my female pick, but I was kind of forced into the Nany thing, you know. So I kind of gave her like a B-side.
B-side. Now,
like, I can't not acknowledge her, you know. Bananas is bananas, you know.
Of course. I love Laurel, so I understand your frustration.
It's tough. Those are my two all-time faves, you know.
Yeah. And Bananas is king though, and you've invested a lot in him, right? I mean, mugs and face masks and yeah.
No. I have a couple t-shirts too.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Come on now.
Now, I felt like we got a good amount of stuff like in the beginning of this episode prior to the daily challenge that would eventually kind of set some things up, right? We had at one point Michelle and Jay kind of talking about how people have been taking the easy road, nominating the rookies, and because Jay and Michelle are pretty much rookies, like they could be the next to be targeted, right? Or one of the next groups to be targeted. So they feel like they need to win.
Yes.
And then we had a little bit of a pool party, right? Everybody was kind of swimming and drinking and hanging out. And it was at this point that we learned that apparently Jay and Jack have gotten very close in this game. Very tight. Yeah. Jack feels a sense of brotherhood. Jay really likes Jack. And they decided that they wanted to write a little song together for emo night. What'd you think of this performance at the pool party?
Everything about this was cringe.
Yeah.
Cringe.
I like it for them, but like I didn't enjoy watching it. Yeah.
This whole thing, by the way, did you like the pool party in lieu of club night? Because we didn't get a club night segment. I think the emo night. So was this better than a club night? We've talked about our dislike for those in the past.
Yeah, I did enjoy the pool night better. Because that felt a little bit more natural. Like you're at the house and you guys.
It felt organic rather than
you're just hanging out
vignettes of stage something. Yeah.
Yeah. Not just in like an empty warehouse. It has like this weird echo. It sounds like they're in a big, large, empty stage. Like they just sound so manufactured. Like I hate it. No, I did like this. I just didn't care for the performance.
Okay, fair enough. But so Jay and Jack and their budding relationship was number one thing to watch. Prior to the daily challenge for me. Number two there was Veronica and Aneesa. Now, at one point, we got Aneesa saying that her and Veronica are very close. They have a history together. Veronica said that her and Anissa just seem to always gravitate towards each other. Although she did say that her, Veronica and Darrell, they don't really know where they stand right now. They were the last duo in. They are vets, but where do they stand with the vets? They feel like they're scapegoats for being the ones that were the last to enter. So that was point number 2 of things to watch for in this episode prior to the Daily Challenge for me. What did you think of this, though, Kyle?
Yeah. Good. Great place to pause. I don't know about all this. I don't know that like Veronica and Darrell are like a target because they're the last ones to arrive. I think they're a target because they're never really, really strong on the social end of things.
Yeah.
Simply because Veronica is an OG does not mean she has the social ties of like Anissa. Veronica always finds herself in this position. I mean, doesn't she? It was really only All Stars that she kind of seemed to like rise above that. But I think that was really only based on like, the clout given to the back of the season, actual like OG. She's not one of the younger All Stars. She's like an All-Star.
Right. Absolutely.
But I think all that is gone once you enter like this main stage arena now. Right.
I also feel like listen, I get it. You're the last ones in, so you feel kind of a step behind. But they entered the game, and Darrell and Veronica were put into the zone by Fessy and Mariah, right? And
yes,
I feel like in that first week that you're in there, I can understand why you'd be a team that gets thrown in. Vets or not, whoever is in power, rookies or vets, I could see you being a team that gets put in just because it's like, all right, we've all been here working for this. You just got here. Prove yourself. And they didn't even have to because they didn't even compete in the elimination. So I can get it. And that's why I don't really get the whole idea of like, oh, we're just going to keep getting scapegoated. It's like you just showed up. You got put in once by Fessy of all people. It's not like
who made the entire brand out of being messy. Like you can't be basing your game based on one of his decisions. Yeah. That's insane.
Right. So the third thing, this is the last thing that I kind of pointed out as I thought was important to highlight going into the Daily Challenge, was a conversation between Michelle and Amber, where we really started to get the sense that Michelle just there's something off with Laurel. She doesn't know why, just doesn't trust her. Amber kind of said like, well, aren't Jack and Jay, their ride or dies? Like, it's your ride or dies. They're super close. Like, why don't you trust Laurel? And Amber said that she kind of felt like Michelle was being very paranoid and she needs to calm down. These were Amber's words. So had you guys? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, did you catch what Michelle said here? Yeah.
So refresh for me.
Yeah, because this is what I wish we had a clip of. Because Miss Michelle used some of the wrong vocabulary. You didn't catch this now.
Wait, I may have.
I may have. I was taking lots of notes. I might have missed it.
I have to take a note on this. She, they were talking about, because Michelle was saying how she feels like she's got this friction, with Laurel, and and she goes, well, we really have to see what takes the precedence here. And it's like, no, you meant to say the precedence, like that's what you meant. And I rewound it like 3 times, and I said, "Oh my sweet dear," I said, "You're going to be so embarrassed tomorrow." Yeah. So go back and watch that. Having around like the 6-minute mark, or so said my DVR.
Or so said my DVR.
Oh, that's so funny.
My sweet Michelle.
That's so funny.
Not a good look. Not a good look. In this case, she did not know best. We're sorry, Matthew.
Yeah. But she just can't get over. She said it so many times in this episode. Her gut. She goes with her gut. She trusts her gut. Yeah. And her gut is telling her Laurel's got to go in.
Right.
So that was the third and last thing that I thought, was important to highlight prior to this Daily Challenge. And I have to say, something that I was very excited to hear for this Daily Challenge was that it was being sponsored by Burger King. We love a good sponsorship, the Royal Relay.
Yeah, we do like a good sponsorship, but I like more branding. But we did get some cheesiness at the end. The triumphant Burger King music as they walked off, and then the feast was showing up at the very end. Yeah.
Listen, I'm sorry. I would have gone feral for that Burger King feast.
Of
Like,
course.
I was like, wow, do I need to order Burger King right now?
Yes, you do. Sponsored by Uber Eats.
I almost got Burger King on my way home from work today, actually.
Burger King's delicious. I'll hear no slander.
They actually are like
very good.
It's really hard because like I want to say they're my favorite. But like who's really up there too is Wendy's.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm not big on Wendy's.
Really
love Wendy's.
I do like Wendy's. Yeah, but I do think their Burger King edges them out. but it does give me a lot of pause.
I love those bacon cheeseburgers from Burger King. My God.
Yeah, it's that sauce they put on there. Yeah, and those Impossible Whoppers.
Oh, mad good. Good.
And, people talk about Burger King's fries like they're not good. Like that's actually not true.
People, literally, every time that I say I like Burger King, someone's like, Burger King. I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
What do they like again?
Wait. Yeah, can you say that one more time? I didn't catch it.
I'm sick. Don't be mean to me.
It has nothing to do with you being sick.
Yeah. But anyway,
yeah, we went way off. Sorry.
Anyway, the daily challenge was the Royal Relay. And this was pretty exciting, right? So each duo, they had to start off by swimming, and they had to go one at a time. And TJ told us that each partner in the duo would have to do every job at some point.
Right.
So first they took turns swimming. They had to collect these 4 points to build a crown, the points of a crown.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 2 they had to collect by swimming. So one partner would go out, swim to their piece, bring it back. The next partner would go do the same thing. Once they collected those first 2 pieces, they now had to get into a boat. And one partner would start off by rowing to collect the first piece. Then they had to switch, and the other partner would row and get the 4th piece. Then they would have to go to this little platform, put their crown together. Whoever does it the fastest wins, has all the power, and each person in the duo gets $5,000 from Burger King. So very exciting.
Yeah.
Did you like this? You're smiling a lot, Kyle. Did you have?
I'm smiling because it was in your description of this that I realized that is also because of the Burger King sponsorship that we're making a crown. That didn't click for me as I watched it. I just said, okay, put together a crown. It didn't dawn on me. I'm like, oh wow, I like this even more now. That's all. I was like, wow, okay. Yeah.
I just love the idea that, like, while Kyle's being like, I just want a little bit more branding, he's missing the giant piece of branding.
I'm missing it, right? Exactly. And that's why I was smiling. I was like, cool. You're so stupid.
That's so funny. Oh man, I figured as soon as before we even saw what the comp was, when TJ was like, "This is sponsored by Burger King and it's called Royal Relay," I was like, "Oh, okay."
I didn't put that together either. And wait, that's actually where this started, because when you said, "So this was they played Royal Relay, right?" And I was down here looking at my M&Ms, and I was like, "Huh, Royal Relay? It's like Kings." I'm like, that's cute.
Like, what a wild coincidence.
Yes, but exactly. That was my first clue. That was the first clue.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Yeah. Now in this competition, Laurel started off very strong, jumped out into first place. Her and Jack quickly fell behind because Jack's swimming. Laurel just kept screaming, "Turn around! Turn around!" And it was very entertaining. I love when Laurel screams.
Yes.
Very quickly then, Jay, Michelle, Anissa and Jordan, and Olivia and Horacio became the top 3. It really became like a race between the 3 of them. Jordan, impressive as always, rowing this boat with one hand.
Yeah. It was incredible.
And seeing how many other challengers struggled to row their boat with 2 hands really just shows you how impressive Jordan is in like everything he does.
I always forget that that's a factor until someone brings it up, and I'm like, shit. Like I always forget about it because he just is so above and beyond everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's so true. And in this first heat, Jay and Michelle take it home. They get the daily challenge win.
Awesome. Good for them.
Yeah. Heat 2. I thought Heat 1 was more exciting to me. Heat 2 seemed like a little bit of a mess. I like forgot at one point that Casey and Kenny were even in the competition. I feel like they barely showed them, and then out of
they
nowhere
were
it was
not
just like,
here.
right,
Yeah.
they like were hardly in this episode.
But that's always Casey's edit in the challenge, I feel like.
Yeah.
Isn't it? She's always like, but that's her.
Very quiet.
Yeah,
Very
I feel
quiet
like that's
edits.
also how she gets through a lot too. Like,
Yeah.
it must be like that in the house too. Just really, just not really,
Like
just
lays
not-
low and like is only there when she's there, you know.
Yeah, she's just there. Was Casey coming to dinner? No, all right. Like everybody's just like really just chill about it. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of her thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mhm.
Now,
Sorry.
why sorry?
I feel like I'm always just going like way off.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Like Matt says, I feel like that's how she was on BB20. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's totally true. There were so many other like big characters on Big Brother, and like Casey was like one of my favorites throughout that season. But there were definitely just bigger characters, and Casey, and I think like you kind of said, like her strategy, how she kind of gets through, she flies under the radar, and that's how she likes it.
Yeah.
I think it works for her.
Yeah. But having a very strong performance in Heat 2, Tori and Devin take it. So they win. We have really two vet pairs here as the Heat winners, but Jay and Michelle clearly in the rookie camp, and Tori and Devin obviously established veterans. So a lot was riding on the winner of this competition, and Jay and Michelle bring it home.
We got what we wanted.
Now at this point, I was feeling pretty good about my winner picks here, getting the daily challenge win.
I wanted them to get it. I was like, "Ooh, I love it. I love when like rookies get it. They're not rookies, but they're on that side basically." So yeah, I was really jazzed.
Oh yeah, and it was exciting, obviously, because in the beginning, before the daily challenge started, you see, Jay and Jack's relationship. You see this tension between Michelle and Laurel. You knew that this was setting things up for a good rest of the episode.
We didn't know how good.
We had no idea. But I think before we get into the rest of the episode, I really would like, at this point, to talk TJ's threads.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I think he's doing pretty good right now. He's doing a lot of scarves. Okay.
Yeah, I took note of what he wore this time. So the red scarf, right?
So this was the daily challenge look. He went with the denim tuxedo, let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of the caption so we can see the full,
No, let's bring it all in.
Right? He's wearing the yellow button-down shirt, denim jacket, big red scarf wrapped around his neck there. Some jeans. Oh, what do we think of this?
It's a hot. And listen, the barometer is different. We're not talking Julia and Arissa. You know what I mean? We're not talking about, our queens or anything. Obviously the bar is way lower for TJ. He doesn't really jazz himself up. But this, anytime you're going to give me some colors, somebody else definitely draped this scarf around his neck.
Oh yeah, you think?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's too perfect. It's too perfect. This is like Hallmark Christmas card. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Undead Christmas card. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like Hallmark movie, like Christmas movie. Yeah. I love it. Right. I love it. Good job, Teej.
Yeah, what do you think, Gina?
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm never gonna be excited about TJ's outfits.
I mean, we're not asking you to get excited about it.
Well, her vote,
if you like it or not.
Her vote goes to me anyway, so that's too hot.
Truly.
Too hot.
All right, I'll give it a hot also.
Okay.
All right, here's the elimination look. This is pretty classy. I thought this look here.
Oh my God.
See that? He's got the tan scarf, looks like a gray shirt underneath, and kind of a tan jacket. I think he was wearing black pants with the rest of this ensemble. And what did you think about this, huh?
That's a definite hot. Look at him.
Right?
Look at him.
I think this is his best look of the season. I give it a hot.
So far, absolutely. Mark it down. November 10th.
Mark it down.
Best look of the
season. Kyle, what is Gina's vote for this?
It's a hot. It's a hot. So it's 3 hots.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Hottest of them all.
Sure.
11-10.
Very nice. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we still have a lot to do. We still got a lot to do here.
We have this interrogation.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
This was probably my favorite interrogation so far. The duos chosen for interrogation were Laurel and Jack, Colleen and Kim, Aneesa and Jordan, and Veronica and Darrell. So what do you think of these choices, first of all?
All right. This is not the fan in me. Okay. I think what you should have swapped out Colleen and Kim with Bananas and Nany. That's what it should have been.
Yeah,
and
if
then
you're gonna go big, go big.
Yeah, then do it right. Because you put them in there as a what?
Yeah, I didn't understand what the choice was. Like everybody else, you kind of know why they're going in, even if you don't agree with it. Colleen and Kim is just like, even in their deliberation when they were trying to decide who to pick, they were like, Colleen and Kim, yeah, I'd love to work with them. I'd love to work with them, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if this was just a feeling of like, we need to put a rookie team in because,
right. But I also,
appearances.
Yeah, but I also feel like, you did it for appearances. You also did it to give yourselves an out in case like the heat got to be too much. But then the immediate time you do that, then of course you're going to go for it because you have an out. So of course you're going to feel like, I don't know. Like it just, it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's Colleen and Kim pick was like the worst. It didn't make any sense to me. You're just putting people in danger that might work with you or want to work with you.
Right. I don't see why wouldn't they want to work with you? Like,
right.
You're on the rookie side. Like, and they've been winning the eliminations. Very stupid. Very stupid. Mm-hmm. But everything else did. Sense. I mean, I guess the rest of it made sense. You want to go after vets. Sure.
Right. But that's why, like, if you're going to make that bold of a move, like, really make it. Like, just put 3 power couples in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah. So those are our duos. I kind of want to go through these in like the ones like the way that I thought was most like exciting to me. So they, first we'll say they interrogated Colleen and Kim. Pretty uneventful, I would say. Nothing really exciting happened there. Anybody have anything for that interrogation that stuck out to them?
No,
not really.
Okay. So the next one was Darrell and Veronica. I just kind of feel like it was funny to me with Veronica being like the pairs that you picked. Like if you're trying to break people up and split up power, the teams you chose don't make any sense. I got like a chuckle out of that because I feel like they even both said after this interrogation, like Jay was like, that did not go well. Like that was bad.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
And she's like, they're all going to be terrible.
And she's not wrong,
She's not wrong, but like I have to say, these interrogations did not go the way an interrogation should. Which was later evidenced by the way that things went with Laurel, which we can really get into then. But like, even with the Veronica and Darrell exchange, it was like they came in attacking them. And like as if now, Jay and Michelle need to be on the defense. No, you are in the power position. You are interrogating them. I have questions for you, and you need to give me answers that now will keep me from making you the direct vote in.
Yes.
It is not like, oh God, here they come. Hello? How mad are you at us? What's going to happen now? Oh, that was just terrible. And it's like, what is this? And this is your house right now. Like, this is your house. Like, I don't know. Like, that's not how an interrogation is supposed to go. Like,
oh God. Yeah.
It was sad to watch. It was really sad.
It was. Geez. Now, Aneesa and Jordan were the third, actually, in the episode, too, because I went a little out of order. But Aneesa and Jordan were actually the third duo to now go into interrogation with Jay and Michelle. Mm-hmm. And it was during this little talk that I started to sense a trend. And it was that every duo that walks in here, Michelle is like, I haven't really talked any game with you. Or, we haven't really like spent much time together. And it started to make me feel like Michelle, maybe you should talk to people more. If every duo that's coming in, you're going, I haven't talked any game with you.
Problem.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm like, you shouldn't be able to see like every person that comes in. You're like, I haven't even spoken to you yet. We're 5 episodes into
like,
this.
why don't you just come talk to me then?
right. But yeah, anything, any other thoughts on Aneesa and Jordan? That was the big thing that I picked up was Michelle continually saying, I haven't talked any game with you.
Well, yes, but the other side to that is that like the other the other side to that comment is like, I haven't really talked any game with you. What that also means then is that there are other people that I have talked game with. So what I'm really saying to you is that you're at the bottom of the barrel here. Yes, I haven't really talked game with you. It's a weird way of trying to place the blame on the other person. Well, you haven't said anything to me. And that invites now an argument from Aneesa to say, well, you haven't spoken to me. No, but what she's really trying to say without really saying it is that like, there are more important people in this house than you. And I don't have anyone else to choose. So I haven't talked game with you. So I might as well put you in. Like, it's like,
yeah. That's so funny. I love that. Oh God.
Yeah.
God. All right. And the last duo.
Queen
interrogation.
Laurel.
Yeah.
My baby girl.
Queen Laurel, indeed. Laurel and Jack.
She's back, man. She's back. She's back.
Oh, let me tell you something.
Tell me.
This episode started with Jack and Jay talking about how much they really loved getting to know each other. They wrote a song together that they performed for the rest of the house. Less than 45 minutes into the episode, this was what their interactions had become.
Okay, so are you guys not going to talk? Do you have a question?
This honestly, and that is how an interrogation is supposed to go. I don't have anything to say to you. You put me in this position, and so now ask me something.
Right.
You let me know. What do you mean? Do you have a question? It's an interrogation. Interrogate me. I got nothing to say. Like, what's good?
Right.
Really crazy.
Oh God.
Really, really crazy.
And it was in this interrogation that Michelle was once again saying, like, I don't know where we stand. We haven't really talked. I'm like, Michelle, talk to people then. It's like, I don't get it. It just kind of goes back to it. It's like, if you don't talk to people, like, but she keeps also saying, like, I don't trust Laurel. I think Laurel would put me in, even though there's only one duo that put you in there, and it was Banani.
Right.
So.
But the other thing about this is that, again, that's what like Michelle is kind of doing. And like Laurel's just like not having it. Like, because she's like, yeah, I haven't really talked game with you. I'm not that's not a question. What's the question? What's happening? Like, why? It's like Michelle's expecting them to fill in the blanks. It's like,
right.
No.
Right.
The whole thing was just like so weird.
It was so
really
uncomfy.
Yeah.
And I feel like normally we would have gotten that club night segment here, but what we got instead, I really loved, because Jay and Michelle finished their interrogations, and who's one of the first people we see them talking to is Sir Nanas himself.
Mm-hmm. There he was.
And Sir Nanas asks them, how's the house treating you? There you go, Johnny Bananas mug. But he asked them, how's the house treating you? He tells them you shouldn't be swayed in this game by fear or emotion. And it's at this point that we get a little Michelle confessional where she says that she now feels that she has earned an IOU from Johnny Bananas. They helped him out, so of course he's going to help them out. And all I can continue to think as this is happening, and, like, as this is being said, all I can think of, I can promise you, Johnny Bananas doesn't feel like he owes you a single damn thing.
No, he does not. And listen, part of the reason I love him is that I also know that, listen, you needed to have discussed that with him before you made that gesture. But
Yep.
even then, I'm not really sure that he would have honored it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's why he's
I
bananas.
totally agree.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like Michelle should know that.
Right. Like, you have watched this show, right?
Right.
It's free information. It's just there. You know, it's like you're about to play a game with people who have played this game so many times. So it's pretty likely they'll keep playing it the same way. You have free information. Like, put it out there for you to watch. And so you think, in what world that Bananas is going to now honor a gesture that was not previously discussed or agreed upon?
Right.
Like, no. And I feel like that whole conversation really set the stage for something coming later.
Okay. All righty. So we had more, Michelle and Aneesa spoke. Aneesa doesn't trust Michelle, but obviously she's saying whatever she can to make sure they don't get, put them automatically into elimination. Looks like Veronica maybe overheard their conversation and kind of was saying, started talking to Darrell about how they really don't have as close connections, as good alliances as the rest of the vets in the house. And they kind of actually bring up the possibility of, if they get that safe dagger, saving Colleen and Kim, or at least kind of putting that out there and asking Colleen and Kim if they would save them should Colleen and Kim choose the safe dagger. So a little interesting to see this, not all the vets are totally in lockstep. Not all the rookies are. So it's a little interesting to see. But
yeah, I wonder how much of that it was just like a passing thought that now production has now forced into making it look like it was more.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's obviously an interesting part of the conversation. Certainly something that should be considered, but I think it's just too early.
Right.
For something like that, especially if you're so concerned with maybe being towards the bottom because you came in late, then like a good gesture, good faith here.
Right.
Take you along, maybe probably further than Kim and Colleen could, because that's not going to stop the fact that even if you make an alliance with them, they're still going in next time.
Right.
They seem to just be the ones that they really are the scapegoats. Veronica and Darrell think they are, but Kim and Colleen are the real.
It's really them. And like you put yourself there, you're just going to be with them. And that means you're going to be next when they leave. So,
right. And at this point, I still don't really think that the, argument that Veronica makes that they're just going to be scapegoats week after week, they're just always going to be going in. It still doesn't hold water for me because, like we said earlier, the first week they were put in by Fessy and Mariah. And this week they're put in by Jay and Michelle. They still have not been targeted by. It's not like they've been put in by Devin and Tori or Nany and Bananas or anybody like that. So like, you came in at a weird time. You came in. If you had come in the week that Bananas and Nany won their daily challenge, I'm sure you would not have been going into the zone. So, we had a great conversation next though between Michelle and Laurel. And Michelle just cannot keep asking. She can't stop asking Laurel where her head's at. I love the way that Laurel responded here. She just said, "I don't know what you mean by that." And, Michelle kept trying to press her on this. And Laurel's response was like, I'm paraphrasing here, but Laurel responded by saying, like, what are you looking for? You keep asking me where my head is at. I'm telling you where my head is at. I don't know what you're saying. And Michelle now asks, like, how can we move forward? How can we try to move forward? And Laurel says in a confessional that, but she says, bitch, you put me into elimination. It's too late.
Right.
And just like gives Michelle this death stare. What did you think about this whole, interaction?
Part of me really agrees with what Matt is saying, is that she's kind of like playing, like using Survivor like phrases and like lingo and things like that. But it's like Laurel is not the one that asked that kind of a question of, like, especially not at this stage. Like, it doesn't matter where her head is at. Nothing she says now is going to change the situation you've now put her in. Like, We don't need to have a conversation now. Move forward. I might be going home.
Right.
There's no conversation to move forward now. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you should have done this days ago. It's too late. She's like, I listen, I agree. I wouldn't be having this conversation either.
Yeah. I'm totally full agreement with you.
Sorry. Sorry.
And Laurel said, like, if you really wanted to see where my head is at, or if you were concerned that I might be targeting you, like, why wouldn't you have this conversation with me before you put me into elimination?
Right.
And it goes back to what we were saying before. Michelle, talk to people.
Right. Right.
Everybody says that they haven't talked any game with you, or that you haven't talked any game with them. So talk to people.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was funny though, because Michelle really was having a rough time in her confessional. Then did you like the her being like, maybe all this talk of me and Laurel not getting along, like maybe it's all just in my head, like maybe we made a big mistake. And I'm like, you were going hard for this for a while. Your gut, you kept going for your gut,
Yeah, it really turned pretty quickly. It was like it was really uncomfortable, actually. Kind of awkward.
I feel like everything about this episode made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, but like in the best way. It's like classic challenge.
Now, is there anything that you guys have seen at all in the season to give any indication whatsoever that Laurel didn't like Michelle or might have been targeting her at any point? Like, is this just like a matter of like Michelle maybe being like scared of Laurel, like just knowing who Laurel is, right?
Intimidated by her and just being, a vet.
Like maybe being jealous of her even, like, and because everybody's talking about Laurel on this season and how she's such a beast, like the GOAT. And maybe Michelle like wants to be that, but knows that Laurel is and is threatened and like, jealous of it and just scared of her. I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
But, oh, well, we go to the elimination. We go to the zone. And no surprise, Jay and Michelle choose Laurel and Jack to automatically go to elimination. And a little bit earlier, Jay and Jack had been having a talk, and I think Jack was trying to like hold out hope, and he said like, oh, Jay, he can sort of fix this. Show he has some character by not putting us automatically into the zone, even though he put us here. But that was not the case. Jay and Michelle sent them down into elimination. Which meant that Colleen and Kim, Aneesa and Jordan, and Darrell and Veronica would all be pulling daggers. So Colleen and Kim, they pull a blank dagger, as do Aneesa and Jordan, which means, of course, Darrell and Veronica have pulled the safe dagger. And this should have been an easy decision, right? Like, this should have been a nice, no-drama decision.
You would think.
Yeah.
Right? Like, obviously, Veronica and Darrell are going to send the rookies in. But Veronica decided this was a good time to speak up. And she said that she was hoping to have heard something, gotten some vote of confidence, some vote of support from Aneesa when they were both put in. But it didn't come. They didn't get it. And Veronica wanted to make it seem like they might save Kim and Colleen, but they did not. They decided to go vet strong. And they saved Aneesa and Jordan, sending Kim and Colleen into elimination. So what do you think of like Veronica's little thing here, her little spiel of, kind of making Aneesa and Jordan a little nervous before ultimately saving them?
I think that was just her way of broaching the conversation after the fact. I think the intention always was to save them. This is just her way of being like, yeah, I do feel that way. I do feel that way. We have to talk. We have to talk. And then that's exactly what she got from Aneesa when they went back up into the stands. She said, we have to have a conversation. Like, I think it was just a spur conversation.
I totally agree. I don't know
about spurring that conversation in front of everybody, though.
No, but I understand why Veronica would do that.
That's kind of playing this game the way that they're playing it, I think it's...
Yeah, but I don't know. There's something about, like, making it seem like, oh, well, we're not as solid as you think we are, like, in front of everybody else, like, felt... I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I mean, I could see Aneesa being really pissed about it and not forgetting about it. And she did say at one point, like, now everybody sees the type of game Veronica plays. She'll make a move and not care. But I also get why Veronica would do it publicly, because it's like, we've been in this game for 2 weeks. We've been sent to 2 eliminations. Like we're all vets, right? Like let's get on the same page. I want to have conversations with you, and I haven't yet. So I'm gonna save you, but the power was in my hands to send you into elimination. So we haven't talked yet, and we need to. And
right,
kind of
and you have to also
everybody on
remember
blast all at once.
they already think that they're at the bottom. Like they already think that. So like if you already think you're at the bottom, like why not? Like
Yeah.
So our elimination was Laurel and Jack versus Kim and Colleen in a game called Give Me Some Slack. This was a pretty cool one. I got a couple of pictures. I only uploaded one though. But so this is what this game looked like. So if you take a look, there's one wall. Looks like that's Colleen towards the left side of the screen. This was like a giant puzzle. You had one person that had to climb up these puzzle pieces, yell out the colors and the shapes that were on each piece to their partner who was on the other side. And they had like much smaller, like little replicas of these pieces. They had to collect all these smaller pieces up, get directions from their partner who was scaling the more colorful, bigger side of the wall, and kind of put their puzzle together correctly. Whoever did it the fastest obviously would win. What did you guys think of this elimination? Have we seen this one before?
I haven't seen this.
Right? This seemed pretty new. I like this too.
It reminded me of something that not from the challenge, but like I feel like I've seen something similar to it somewhere else, but not this exact thing. But I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Oh, and obviously, I forgot to mention this. When one person, like let's say the person that was trying to, yell out the puzzle pieces to their partner, who then had to collect the smaller ones and put them together. When one of them went up, the other person came down, and vice versa. They had to work together and communicate to make sure that they could, get high enough up. Laurel yelled a bunch of times, "Let me down! Let me down!" And I enjoyed that. I love when Laurel screams.
But it took so much for him to let her down. Like she needs to like relax. Like I mean, you really have to. That's a lot of physical work for him to get back up.
I know that's your girl, but I was watching this competition. Like, if my partner was speaking to me like this and I was doing my best, I'd be like, "Figure it out yourself."
That's just how she is. Like, you just know to ignore it. Like,
Yeah. And Laurel and Jack got off to a rough start in this. Kim and Colleen seemed like they were communicating better. They were doing pretty well, but they went to check their puzzle and they were wrong. TJ told them they were wrong. And it felt like in this moment, then Laurel and Jack sort of started to find a rhythm. They did have a little hiccup at one point. I think Laurel thought that she had the puzzle, but some of the pieces fell. But they started to get into a rhythm, communicating better. And at the end of the day, we had Laurel and Jack winning the elimination, which meant that Colleen and Kim were eliminated.
Yeah.
But we found out they were only one piece off, Kim and Colleen. They were very close. Very close. I would have been devastated if Laurel and Jack were eliminated this early. But I liked Colleen and Kim a lot. I hope we see them again.
I liked them too.
I really like them. I was excited to see Laurel win, but it was still with a heavy heart. Because I was really starting to like the two of them.
Yeah.
Because they still kept such a good attitude about constantly going in. Like they weren't like bitter Bettys, they really like played a nice, like honest game. I really like them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like their time on the show was short. Like they made it through some challenges and some eliminations. And they won some stuff, but like it just felt like we didn't get to see them enough. So I really hope they come back. I think they will. It seems like everybody loves them.
I'd love to see more of them.
Yeah.
Right? Like when TJ was even saying before they left the zone, like TJ was like, "Everyone loves you." And like the cast started cheering. But I almost feel like TJ means that everyone loves you. Like the cast loves you. I love you. Production loves you. I see them being like people that are very sweet to production too, like
right. Yeah.
But all right. So yeah. Colleen and Kim, unfortunately, they exit. Laurel and Jack, understandably, fired up, pissed off. I'll definitely be curious to see.
If you're going to sit there listening to everybody talking about, like, oh, the GOAT, the best player, like, such a beast, and you're going to send them in, you better make sure they're going home. Like, what a stupid move.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, even if you were going to send them in right off the bat, send them in with like 3 other vet pairs. Like, why are you throwing a rookie team in there? Like, because this was their worst case scenario and it happened, you know?
Yeah. No, this was so dumb. It was so dumb. Literally the one team out of the 4 that they put in that went home, that was like the one team that they probably didn't want to go home. Obviously with Laurel and Jack being the preferred team. But of all the teams that could have gone home, Colleen and Kim is the one team that they probably didn't want to go home the most. And all they had to do to fix that was replace Colleen and Kim with Bananas and Nany. Not that I want that, but like...
Right, that's what I mean.
It's the smartest move.
It would have been. It would have been.
Yeah. You ensure that a vet goes home that way. Somebody that you've pissed off has at least left the game. Because Michelle said it at the end of this episode. Her and Jay's time and power was terrible. Absolutely terrible. They sent home potential numbers for themselves, and they pissed off way more people in the house than they needed to. And if you piss off all those people, like if you at least send home your target, okay, you can salvage something from it. But you pissed off everybody and sent home people that might have actually worked with you. Like,
yeah,
it's terrible.
It was a total, absolute flarn. The whole week. Yeah, total waste.
My winner picks.
Total waste. Yeah, they flubbed it.
Really bad. Really bad. Yeah. Any other thoughts on this particular episode? I have a couple of notes for the next on. But anything else you guys have for this episode? No?
I got nothing, Pam.
Nothing. Okay. Well, for the next on, a couple of the things that I wrote down that I'm looking forward to was some potential. We've been seeing Horacio and Laurel getting close, right? Now, in the next on, we actually do hear, because, sometimes that we get a little thrown off by editing. We see somebody like arguing, yelling. We think we know who they're arguing with, but it turns out to be someone totally different, or, a situation that we think we're going to see on the next episode turns out a lot differently than we thought due to editing. But in this next on, we specifically hear Horacio say that there was some sort of misunderstanding between him and Laurel. And we see that there is some drama between them. And it's been part of the storyline in multiple episodes now that Horacio and Laurel have both said that they really feel support from each other. They like each other. They find comfort in each other. It's been featured on multiple episodes. So we'll see what happens with that. We also saw Fessy sort of like climbing on top of Laurel in bed being like, oh, does Horacio hug you like this? So that was weird because anything that Fessy does is really weird.
Get him off the show.
Oh, man. And another thing that I noticed was some potential drama between Banani. We saw a little footage of them in the daily challenge for next episode. They seem to be struggling. We hear Bananas actually say like that him and Nany just are not on the same page. So we'll see what's going on there.
I think the Bananas Nany thing is just hype.
Probably overblown.
Yeah,
probably overblown.
I think they were just fighting. Yeah.
They'll probably end up winning the daily challenge.
Yeah, that'll be fine. They're fine.
That is all that I have for this episode. You guys have anything else for the benefit of the community? Anything else you'd like to say or share?
No, I don't think so.
Said that Challenge Australia starts on Monday.
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
That's on Monday.
That is right. So get your VPNs in order.
Yeah, except I have you seen anything about Paramount Plus like carrying it? Like I cannot, because when this was originally announced, they said that it would be, and I keep like Googling this information. I'm seeing nothing. I mean, I have no problem using the VPN if need be, but like I just feel like it should be more accessible than that.
Right. You would think that all of these challenge spinoffs that are part of this global challenge, championship that everything's going to be culminating in, you would think that they're all going to be available on Paramount Plus.
Right.
But I haven't heard anything, and we're 4 days away?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand that. Like,
no, 4 days. 4 days away. Yeah. Sorry.
So I guess we'll see. But otherwise, yes. So that starts Monday. So we start chatting about that next Thursday. I'm really excited about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So our weeks are going to get a little bit busier starting next week.
Yeah, they are. They are. And I don't know how to say their name. The host of
Bryony.
Challenge Australia, Bryony. They actually had done like a Q&A on the Challenge Australia Instagram. And they're actually really funny. Some of the references like you don't get because we're not Australian. But really, really excited. As much as I love TJ, like don't get me wrong. I'm really excited to see this done by somebody else. And after watching that story, I'm even more excited.
Wow.
That's all. Yeah.
I'm excited too. I'm excited to see Bryony. We love Sonia Kruger, fantastic host in Australia. We love Jonathan LaPaglia. They put out some great hosts in Australia. So I'm expecting nothing less from Bryony. And everything that I've seen about them, their social media, all that, I feel like Bryony's going to be a really, really good host. So
I've seen nothing but like 2 pictures. So watching this was really cool. So
yeah.
I suggest, before you go nights.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, so coming up, the next thing that we've got going on will be Monday, right? Monday night. We'll be talking Amazing Race.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
This
the
coming
Amazing
Monday.
Race again. Yeah.
Yes, we'll be covering 2 episodes of the last 2 episodes of The Amazing Race.
I finally caught up on the previous 2, so I only have 2 to watch.
Nice. That'll be Monday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then Thursday, we will be back at 9:30 p.m. talking the Challenge 38 Ride or Dies, and we'll also be talking the Challenge Australia.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Now, like, how sick are you, Gina? You like really sick? You gonna be staying home and stuff?
Maybe. I don't know yet.
I kind of know where this is going, I think.
I know exactly where it's going. I just don't want him to say it.
Because, like, if you got nothing else to do, I don't see why you can't just watch, do a little binge watching to some All-Star Shore.
Oh, now she's playing up the coughing. Now she's
no. I've been muting my mic every time. I've been good about it.
Listen, she's sick. She's sickies. So you can watch some All-Star Shore. John's supposed to be coming over on Saturday for a slumber party, some chicken, and get high. I don't know. Maybe we'll watch some All-Star Shore.
Yeah,
talk
we
about
can get a
that
commitment
on
from you right now.
Yeah, come on, Mon Juan. Mon Juan.
Gina.
I'm not doing it.
Wow.
What a downer. What a downer.
So we'll click her off. We'll do it.
No.
Yeah. Hey,
no, you love me. You love me.
Well, what do you want us to do? I mean, like, you don't want
to participate. So
we don't watch it.
Fine.
So, like,
it is what it is.
We'll talk to Amazing Race, and then we'll talk some All-Star Shore.
Yeah.
Well, Matt says feel better, Gina. Did you show that already?
Thank you.
There you go.
But all right. That's it for the benefit of the community, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, a lot of exciting things coming up. If you've been watching tonight, thank you so much for watching, hanging out with us. If you've been listening, thank you for doing that too. And we're going to see you. We're going to talk to you very soon. Have a great night. Oh, actually, wait. Oh my God, I'm almost forgetting. If you want to find us on the socials, I should say this, right? If you want to find us on the socials, at Strat Chat Pod. It's good to tell people, how to find us, I guess. At Strat Chat Pod. At Strat Chat Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Check out our website, stratchatpod.com. Thank you. We love you.
We do.
Good night.
Bye-bye.